encounter professors. You mentioned that you had spent 7 days in IIM Bangalore.
I don't recall now. It's
So we
years
got to check.
away.
So presuming that you spent 7 days, now there are two choices. One is you have to spend 14 days taking a course, or can we request you to take a 3-day course teaching us, and we will get you an alumnus.
Thank you.
But from redefining capitalism into gross happiness index and introducing best management practices into Government of India, we can see where some of the disruptive ideas of the government are coming from. At this note, we have exactly 15 minutes left before the minister has to leave. So may I request Mr. Shekhar Gupta, the celebrated journalist who needs no introduction, to come and moderate the question and answer session. Shekhar ji, like we discussed, we have exactly 15 minutes.
Yes,
and
so I think what we have to do is, Piyush and I, if we can start talking, we can talk for a couple of hours. And I promise you, you will not be bored because Piyush will do most of the talking, not I. But we don't have the time, so I think precedence has to be given to questions from all of you. This is a very innovative way of getting questions.
Yes, sir.
So, as you all know, members of the audience list their questions on an app, and then everybody votes. So the questions that get the largest number of votes get asked first. So these are questions, I believe, each one of which got more than 50 votes.
That's right, sir. So we have, like in your interest of technology and democracy, we are using an app to invite questions, and each of the questions has been voted. So we're going to limit to 2 questions from the audience. And by the way, for your information, we have 67 questions from the audience. So we're going to pick 2 of those, and then we
I
will leave
didn't
it
do
to...
my job well, that means. But I would, in any case, urge you that you send me all those 67 questions.
Yes, sir.
So I may learn something new out of that. There may be some suggestions and ideas also.
Forward those
Fantastic. We should do that. We will do that, sir. Thank you. So without much ado, shall I put up the first
Please
question
go
on the
ahead,
stage,
yes.
sir? So the first question... Okay, it's not showing up on the screen.
Showing, but you have to now.
You'll have to
Yes, sir.
read
We
it
will.
because
I will get it active. Yes.
What are government's plans to boost Indian startups in renewable energy like solar, wind, etc.?
Excellent. In fact, I'm so happy that...
Can I add a question to that?
Yeah, sure.
Do I hear these days that a lot of people in renewable sector are not getting paid?
Yeah, sure.
So they are running
Only thing is
losses.
that, you know, that comment of mine in a humorous way, it caused so much distress.
But
You recall that
Yes,
Tamil
yes.
Nadu problem?
Yes, but you should.
But very good question, and I really am a very happy person that India is willing to adopt and change the way we've used electricity all these days. And I find so much traction when renewable energy is discussed anywhere in the country. It shows that we as a nation care for the future generations, and we want to leave behind a better planet than what we inherited. So I'm really proud of the work and the interest that all of you have in renewable energy. Thank you for your support. In terms of startups, we have, for example, introduced the concept of reverse bidding also in our solar procurement program, and very soon I'm doing the same for wind energy. The idea being that rather than a small group of people having the ability to control the whole system, let everybody participate. Let more and more people come up and get into the bidding process and win projects across the country. And I'm happy to share with you, last year alone, we bid out about 20,000 megawatts of solar projects. I'm now coming out with a scheme. It's before the cabinet will be finalizing it soon, where I'm going to try and help the farmers of India become startups. So what we'll do is we'll give farmers the ability to produce small amounts of renewable energy, solar energy, anywhere from 200 kilowatt to 2 megawatt. So somebody who has barren land or land which doesn't generate enough income, he can put up his land as a collateral or as a equity. We can have that valued or put in a value for that land. It becomes his equity. The government will give him an equity support, and then we'll have banks and financial institutions in the Ministry of Power provide the equity support. The state distribution company will buy that power from the farmer, and we'll make the farmer a prosumer, not only a consumer of electricity for his farming and other requirements, but a producer of electricity as well. So we are trying to get more and more people engaged in that. I think it's a good idea for startups. I'll probably, once I get back, see if I can introduce a similar scheme for the educated young of India, who could then become startups and possibly put in some savings. We could give them some support. We may allow them to take some investors or private equity investors into the company. And that may be another avenue to have distributed renewable energy produced all along the country, so transmission challenges are reduced. Shekhar bhai, I do appreciate that we have some challenges on getting payments, not only for renewable, for the entire power sector, in about 4 states right now. It's not as if it's a national phenomenon. It's largely restricted to Maharashtra, and I'm not shying away from acknowledging my own state, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan. I think Karnataka is all right. Any problems, Ravi? I think these are the 3 main states, maybe 1 or 2 more states that don't come to mind off the cuff. Now, these are states who have had certain legacy issues and historical problems. Rajasthan, for example, Vasundhara Raje inherited a state discom which was incurring an annual loss of 15,000 crores. So it's beyond my imagination also. Even if you let your imagination run wild, you can't understand how one small state which consumes less than 5% electricity of the nation can lose 15,000 crores a year. But under Uday, we are trying to set things right. She's doing some wonderful work there. This is a short-term pain, but for that also we are trying in the center to bring in some new parties like NTPC and SECI to purchase the power and on-sell it to the discoms, so that counterparty risk is reduced and payments are assured on time. We are also trying to bring in a payment security mechanism, where we'll create a fund which will pay the suppliers, and then we'll keep recovering from the state. So I'm trying my best with using whatever knowledge I've acquired in 30 years to mitigate the risk of the suppliers of power. And thanks to some of these efforts, solar prices have fallen by 45% in the last 18 months. 45%.
Prices of solar power or equipment installation?
Solar power. Equipment price has fallen by about 15 to 18%. So I suspect that I'm not claiming that it's only one factor. It's technology, it's economies of scale, it's integrity of purchase. They don't have to worry about any extraneous costs associated with the sector. It's a combination of different aspects which has helped us get these benefits.
Next one.
Thank you. Next question, please. And this question too has 55 votes.
Post demonetization, will we see Achhe Din for salaried taxpayers and not merely incremental benefits? At least 50 lakhs, which means taxation starting only from 15 lakhs per year.
But he didn't say that. Why are you
It says at least 15 lakhs, no tax.
He says that.
Right there.
And so the question is from
I know
your name.
ministers read what they choose to read, but it's in the same type side.
It's a very good suggestion, but I would like to share another dimension with you. Clearly, the government is going to benefit post-demonetization with increased tax revenue. Possibly some of the illegal money, illegally stashed money may not even come back into the system. So there is going to be a good deal of gain after some of the pain that we had told the people will be there for some time. A lot of it has got mitigated, some of it remains to be sorted out, and we really are a grateful government to the people of India for the support and their blessings that they have given to this demonetization move. Some people may have not liked it, but by and large, across the nation, the people of India have given huge support to this effort to clean out corruption and black money. But this gain, will have to be shared amongst all sections of society. Now, it's very easy to say that make it 15 lakhs, no tax. But would you not agree that the first right of the benefit of this gain should be for that man who's at the bottom of the pyramid, for that poorest of the poor, who barely makes 2 square meals a day, who's still in the unorganized sector, and so far hasn't been able to even get his minimum wages paid for his blood and toil? For that section of society who doesn't have electricity in his home, or who has probably no toilet in his school, or doesn't have a good quality connectivity to his school, doesn't have good medical facilities for his aged parents. So I think it is incumbent on the government to balance out this gain to different sections of society. I can assure you, every rupee that the government saves or earns out of this move will go for the welfare of the people of India. Our effort will be first to help the poorest of the poor come up in life, but simultaneously, we recognize, acknowledge, and are grateful for the support that all the middle class and all the, even the well-to-do of India, the honest taxpayers have given to this move. And I'm sure the finance minister will take note of this suggestion / question when I go back to Delhi, or I'll meet him later in the evening.
So I think, what's your view? You know the taxation system well, and you know the tax department well. What's your view on the latest amendment, which restores discretionary powers of tax officers, which were taken away after economic reform?
No, I'm sorry. On the contrary, the discretionary power has been taken away now, and I'll explain it to you since that is my core field. At least you'll grant me that. The law, income tax law as it existed when we came into government, provided for the ability of the tax officer to provide a penalty on misreported income or underreporting of income, anywhere from 100% to 300%. It was a discretionary power. And when we saw the record, and I've seen this even when I was in the finance committee in opposition, never has it been applied more than 100%. Never. So in the worst of cases, we deserved a deeper penalty. For whatever reason, now we won't get into the reasons, you know it, I know it. That discretion had the ability to be used, and therefore only 100% was ever applied, if at all. Now we've made it absolutely a strict application of a particular penalty, which cannot be changed. So if you do not declare your income and it comes to the notice of the tax authorities, you'll end up paying income tax and penalty totaling 77.25% or so. And there's no discretion with the tax authority.
No, but there is discretion with the tax authorities on initiating scrutiny. Earlier it was
Random computer.
or limited to computers.
Yeah.
Now income tax officer, which is the lowest value, lowest level of the food chain, can now decide, मैं आपको notice दे रहा हूँ, आपको नहीं दे रहा हूँ, and that becomes an ATM.
Again,
It used to be an ATM.
no, again, I'd like to be very categorical and clear, because at least on this subject, I've been a part of the discussion.
That's the reason I know it's not
With
your
Mr.
ministry, but I
Jaitley.
brought it.
Mr. Jaitley and my Prime Minister and the nation's Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, are very clear that we have to ensure that there is no tax terrorism. What we have done now, the scrutiny is totally selected random by the computer based on certain parameters in terms of the increase in income, in terms of the high value transactions and stuff like that. It is only for this 50-day period when large amounts of cash has been deposited in the bank of old currency notes, where one will have to scrutinize and check where the monies come from, whether it is genuinely the cash on hand that was available on the 8th of November, or there have been transactions post 8th of November. For that reason, we will have to give them powers. You are seeing what we are finding in Bengaluru also, and so many fines all across the nation. Having said that, I take a cue from what you said. We'll ensure that speaking orders will have to be given, if at all anybody's case is taken for scrutiny or not taken for scrutiny. So I'll talk to Mr. Jaitley and we'll make sure.
So will this power lapse after these 50 days?
I think so. This power has been provided only up to March, because you are allowed to put back the money up to March 31st.
have any more questions?
Scrutiny
Thank you,
otherwise
Shekharji.
is
We have-
completely computer controlled.
Piyush, so I know that you have to have flight at 2:45 also, and I think you should eat something. Question from me.
Why don't you be frank and honest that you run out of my
No.
session?
No,
and
no,
I
no,
think Kumar has the next session. Has he come in
No,
as
no,
yet?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No?
I don't think that's a problem. So no excuses. You can carry on.
I mean, don't worry about my lunch. If you have your
I think
next
you can
session,
carry
I'm
on
happy
as
to
long
go.
as you are not disrupting Deepika's session. Nobody will complain. Right?
I'm very
If that
conscious
happens,
of that.
both of us will be hooted out. So the question that I have, and it's a question that I have as a Haryanvi, richest state of India, by far. The richest large state. Goa is technically the richest, but Haryana is the largest state. And this is a story of many states in India. Why should the richest state in India still have 8 to 12-hour power cuts every day without fail? In fact, the only thing predictable in my home state is the hours of power cuts.
In fact,
So what is the point of having all this surplus power and surplus coal when people are enduring power cuts, when almost everybody in power business is broke? So, na khuda hi mila na visale sanam.
well, Shekhar bhai, you will appreciate, and as will all the people who are assembled here today, that today, and I have it on the website, on my mobile app, I offer that you can see 24/7, exactly the quantities of power that are available in the system, power exchange, at what price, at any time during the day. And then you can also check, it's called Vidyut Prava, and I'm just trying to see at what price Haryana can buy power today. So there is a power surplus undoubtedly, and I stand to any scrutiny on that. Having said that, the problem that is being faced are two, and we are addressing both those problems. One, as I had mentioned earlier, the state distribution companies were not able to recover their dues. Haryana, when Manohar Lal Khattar, the BJP government came in first time in independent history on our own, 20, 25 years before we had a coalition government. For the first time we came in, and what did we find? A DISCOM which makes thousands of crore rupees losses every year, a DISCOM which doesn't collect its electricity bills, and therefore about 25 or 27% AT&C losses, power theft, distribution losses, and the situation was so grave that they could not invest in the sector. So distribution sector and transmission sector, both of which requires large investments to be able to meet the needs of the people 24/7, quality power. Now I have introduced two schemes, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana for rural areas and integrated power development scheme for the urban areas, where we are investing 1,18,000 crores from the center to support the states to upgrade their infrastructure through UDAY, urban discom, the Ujjwal Discom Assurance Yojana. We are helping the discoms come out of their loss, and I think by next year, Haryana will be a profit-making discom. In Gurgaon, where you are referring to, we are embarked on a 7,000 crore rupee infrastructure upgradation program. But you'll all appreciate distribution and transmission infrastructure doesn't come up overnight. It has its own time. There are right-of-way issues, but I'm very confident that Haryana will be able to give 24/7 power as this infrastructure upgradation takes place.
I mean, I was using Haryana as an example. This is the story of almost all states, barring maybe Gujarat and a couple of others. Karnataka also has power cuts.
Ravi will not like to hear that.
But rural Karnataka, I bet, has power cuts.
Is that so?
Do you have 24-hour power in rural Karnataka? No, you can't.
Then you need to change the government here. But on a serious note, I have been reported by the state government, and I have another app. By the way, Haryana can get power as we speak at 2 rupees 50 paisa on the exchange. And Karnataka can get it at, again, 2 rupees. Oh, by the way, as at this point of time, all over the country, power is available for any state at 2 rupees 50 paisa through the length and breadth of India.
The problem is state utilities don't even have 2 rupees 50 paisa. Because they can't recover more than 30 paisa. That's the
Which
problem.
is why the Uday program, which the states have to implement and help recover their bills, right-size their prices of electricity tariffs, reduce the losses, catch the offenders, and that is happening across the country. And for that, I have also put that publicly. There's another app called Urja, on which we give you real-time data of how much is the power cut in each state, how much is the power outage, how many hours they don't give power to their people. Now, my expectation with all this transparency is that you as concerned citizens will raise your voice, will ask your state to perform, will ask your governments to do a better job. So I have a dashboard on Urja, in which if I go down to the different states, and I'm trying to open Karnataka to see what Karnataka shows. Karnataka says that average duration of power cuts in a month is only 7 hours. I can only go by data that the state reports to me.
It must be average duration per day. That's how it is in most rural India now.
And everything is given here, how many number of times there's power cut in a month. We have given the amount of loss of power or theft. We have said how many people are pending for connections. It's all here. So if you find this data wrong, you'll have to go to Vidhan Saudha or wherever the office of Ravi Kumar and his team.
I think in this city there are enough excuses for people to go to Vidhan Saudha and block traffic. Right? I think it happens all the time.
No, I see at the center, I cannot take power to every home. I have to work with the states. And I can only support the states. End of the day, it will be the state which will have to take power to your home and give you 24/7 uninterrupted power. I'm willing to do what it takes from the center to help them get that. In fact, in Bengaluru, if I may share with you, one big problem, because of which a lot of the southern states are also suffering, and Ravi knows that, is the right of way. Now you all want 24/7 power, but if the wire is going through your place, then you all want to object and stop that work. And you'll say, no, no, no. I want 24/7 power, but the transmission line should go somewhere else, not through my property. Now these are areas where we'll all have to work together. So Bangalore, there is a Velananka, some area here?
Yelahanka.
Now I've been taking review meetings to help all the southern states get power, but I'm not able to get the right of way through that place to create the loop and transmit
I
power.
did put it on top of that steel flyover that they've been trying to build. That will give that a impetus. Thank you very much. I'll just add one last thing that, among some very simple, innovative, but very simple things that he has done and which require study and appreciation is the rationalization of coal transport in the country, much to the detriment of his friend, the railway minister. Because railways used to make a lot of money carrying coal to Newcastle and then from Newcastle to London. And for example, a coal plant in Tamil Nadu will get coal from God knows where.
No, give them the example of Korba and Mundra.
Yes, Korba and Mundra. Mundra, which is on the coast, would get its coal from Korba, which is in East Central India, whereas a plant in Cobra will get coal imported from the coast. So all that business has now been taken away from the railways, and I think if you see railways falling revenues, this is one of the major causes. But I think it adds greatly to efficiency, and it needed a good mind to do it. So well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry I spoke more. I left my time.